Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Big up your damn selves in the build. Make sure you smash up the likes every single damn time and subscribe if you are new. Everton versus Chelsea preview. I'm going to be getting into in this video what is the main threat from Everton. What do we need to watch out for? I'm also going to be talking about Chelsea players that are immediately looking to exit in the coming month ahead in the window. And I'm also going to be speaking on what is our biggest threat, our biggest 1v1 matchup that will hopefully send us to the top of the table. So let's get into it. But first of all, we need to set the scene because Everton versus Chelsea at Goodison Park is a problem. It's a bogey team for us, right? We had one last weekend. We've got one this weekend. These are how we right the wrongs of previous years and seasons to try and, bring together a very big season from ourselves. And like I said, put ourselves top of the table. It'll be the first time we'll be doing so in many a years since Thomas Tuchel times. And to be honest, especially playing before Liverpool, there's a little psychological advantage for us as well to kind of set the tone. Just because we want to, not because we're trying to do anything particularly, specifically, just because we want to. But also go 10 points clear of Manchester City, who have lost the earlier kickoff as well to Aston Villa. So there's a lot going on in this game, but it is a difficult game. One win in the last 7 at Goodison. That is grim reading. It is a record that, for some reason, Everton over these years have never had a great team. They've always been in relegation battles. They've always lacked quality. Technical levels have been on the decline, but they still managed to set piece us. Tchaikovsky, Richarlison in behind. Doesn't matter how, they managed to make it happen. And this is not just about the ownership or this young team. This is stretching back over seasons. So it's not easy for us, but we will try to right those wrongs in this match, and we got to, tie up a couple of issues if we're going to handle that. Now, the first thing I want to talk about before we get into tactical pads and whatnot is, of course, the exits, the imminent exits and the injury issues. Because I see a lot of people talking about the centre-back position, and we've got a lot of players that are either injury-prone, currently injured, can't really be relied upon, depended upon, and people are feeling now we may need to go into the market. What I will say is that we've just given Josh Achimpong a new contract. He can play right back. He can play right-sided centre-back in a back three. I wouldn't necessarily play him in the middle in a Premier League game. I really wouldn't start him in a Premier League game just yet. But also, I do believe that that contract was given because they truly do believe in him. And Maresca made it very clear that he wants to keep him within the squad and develop him at home. Same goes with Guy. And he wants to keep these guys close to the first team and in the first team to monitor their development. So I don't think, unless there is a big sale coming in, Disasi, according to Nazar Cancella, is another player that is actually okay to stay, happy to be here for the coming, months ahead, maybe at least until the end of the season. Unless we're going to break even on that purchase of 38 million for him, unless someone's leaving, I don't think anyone's going to come in. Don't forget, Argentine Aaron is coming in also in the summer. There's quite a few defenders on our books, maybe, especially if we're not guaranteed to get quality in the window coming up. The worst thing you could do is just bring someone in for the sake of it. For instance, I've seen us linked with Mark Gurhey. I really wouldn't go for Mark Gurhey. I don't think aerially he's strong enough. I don't think he's dominant enough to make a big difference in our defence. He's another defender that is decent on the ball. He's pretty much both-footed, obviously from Cobham. Good player. But would I go out of my way, even with the, clauses that we have in the deal when we sold him, which would bring the deal down to a fee that maybe isn't astronomical? Would I go out of my way to purchase him and add him into our current cluster of centre-backs, especially with Josh Achimpong signing that new deal? Not really. I don't think he's a massive improvement on the starting 11, which I think is the only type of defender we should be going after, is someone that goes into the instant starting 11 and guides a Colwell or a Fofana and takes them to that next level. If you're not coming in to do that, we've already got enough squad defenders with Tosin and all these other guys, Badia Shield. So that's how I see that situation. You guys let me know in the comments down below. But in regards to defences, speaking of, Everton, 4 clean sheets in the last 5. 4 clean sheets in the last 5. Very good defensively. Last season, very good defensively. Saw last week, kept a clean sheet at the Emirates to stop them. I know they're not the most free-flowing attacking team right now, although they are getting goals at Palace. Today, we need to be at our best going forward. It's probably the best team statistically on paper and, according to the stats, going forward in Chelsea. Most shots, most open play goals, most goals scored. Going up against Everton, one of the tightest, most compact, organised defences. Like I said, 4 clean sheets in the last 5. Very impressive. Apart from that Manchester United defeat. Now, so Tchaikovsky and Braithwaite and all these guys, we need to be trying to bridge, the gap and trying to find the spaces and win those 1v1 battles. And I do believe that their strength is really only in McNeil. You know, if we're talking about the danger of Everton, what to watch, it is McNeil. Leads on goals, leads on assists, absolutely clears his teammates in big chances created. He's the only guy that has delivery, has technical ability, has the pass, the vision, the cross. He's the guy that takes the set pieces. He's the guy that they try and funnel the ball to on the wide areas, and you know, then they put it into the box and they look for their knockdowns, and that's how they got their goals against Wolves. Most of the time, Everton are not really getting many goals in their games, but the one time they battered Wolves, it's a free kick, it's wide crosses coming in, and you know, rebounds and ricochets, or you know, shots from just after a head has been cleared, winning the second ball. That's really where their goals are coming from. We know Calvert-Lewin is not a machine up front. We know Beto is not a machine up front. Broja can't even play this game. You know, there is no goal scorer outside of McNeil just trying to put things together. If we can protect the wide areas in open play, make sure that we don't allow them to cross, get into them, stuck into them. So Gusto, Renato Vega, who I expect will start, be close to these guys. Don't allow them to whip the ball in. And our defenders, Tosin and Colwell most likely, get the ball away, header it away, then we should be okay. Set pieces is really the only place where I see their goals coming from, right? And I think over the years when we've lost to them, that's really where we've struggled with, is physically. Technically, there is no matchup here. There is no matchup whatsoever. I expect us to dominate and be very, very good on the ball and strut our stuff and show why we're in the position we're in. So with Everton, McNeil, watch the centre-backs coming up from corners, and obviously we have to break them down. And as early as we get that goal, the better. Because, of course, the longer the game goes on, the crowd goes up, Goodison becomes Goodison. But we've got the quality up front to get goals. I know that for a fact, for sure. So now in terms of my team and what would I be selecting, this is why I mentioned earlier about players leaving. Shrewsbury Hall, he's been linked with moves away. Leicester or even Arsenal, Fulham. Chukwuemeka, he looks like he's going to be going. We've never really seen him in the Premier League anyway. Chilwell, we know, is probably going to be going. Disasi, it was reported, conflicting reports. Could be going, could be staying. Maybe he's staying, especially with the injuries. But we'll find out, or we might get an inkling to who's staying and who's going in these next couple of games before the new year. If they're involved, if they're not. Now, we've got injuries, right? We know this. There's no Badiashile in this selection today. There's no Mudryk. He's still waiting for Sample B results. There's no Fofana. There's no Reece James, who's in partial training. There's no Lavia, who's not really ready. There's no Cucurella. He's suspended. So the team is pretty predictable, right? That will be on screen. We know who's going to play. But, like I said, if certain players are on their way out, if it's Shrewsbury Hall leaving, does that mean Andre Santos needs to come in? For depth, for quality, for options, just in case of an injury. Okachuku from Southampton, come back in here. So keep an eye on those things. But this is the team that I'd play, right? So I'd go in goal, of course. Sanchez, we know he's going to start. You're looking at Renato Vega at left back, inverting. He's got the biggest job of the day because McNeil is left-footed. You know, he might want to swing in crosses from that angle. He might want to drift over there. Even in midfield, in the half spaces, he might want to pop up just behind the striker in a 4-5-1. You've got to be able... What Cucurella has been so great at, not only is he tenacious, not only is he aggressive, he's putting out fires all over the pitch, but he's also getting back into the left-back position and not leaving Colwell to hung out to dry to go wide. It's not like Everton have got the most tricky, you know, fluid wingers out in the world, but you still want Colwell in the middle of your defence as much as possible. Renato Vega's job to get from midfield to left-back, he's got to be sharp and focused. His ball-carrying ability, his physicality, I'm trying to see it in this game as well on the ball. Caicedo next to him, obviously Gusto, Tosin, Colwell makes up that defence. And then we go forward, we look at Palmer, we look at Sancho, for me, definitely starting on the left-hand side. Then it's between Madueke and Neto, both of them providing us crosses. Neto with both feet. Madueke has really been showing his crossing recently, getting on his left foot, kind of giving you those back post curler swingers that Elise was providing at Palace. One of the reasons why I wanted him so much at the club was for his crossing ability, as well as his set piece and his dead ball situations, how good he is there. But Madueke is starting to give us that now. We saw that last week. We saw that with his assists. Then we're looking at, of course, up front, Jackson to press. There isn't really any competition in terms of Nkuku taking that role. Maresca comes out again and says Nkuku's not a striker. He's only playing there because we don't have anyone else. And by saying that, he means Gu, who did get a hat-trick in midweek, and I have seen people calling for him to be maybe coming off the bench in the Premier League. I don't think Maresca thinks he's ready. I think he's happy to give him the Conference League games, against teams that really we should be beating and comfortably. He should also, or anybody on that pitch should be playing well, to be honest, against those level of oppositions. Even if you are a young 18 academy player, Tyreek George, you should be playing well in the Conference League games, because those players that we're playing against are just not very good. But to take that game and make the jump to the Prem, it's a massive jump. It's not a Europa League to Premier League jump. It's a Conference League to Premier League jump. And I know he said that obviously he'd like to keep him in-house, but I think, and this is just my opinion, you guys let me know in the comments, but if Jackson is clearly the only pressing striker that we have that also has the quality to go with it to depend upon in these games, and Nkunku can't press anywhere near the level, Gu can press but he doesn't have the same level of quality, then Gu at least needs to be third choice, which he is currently anyway, because he's not coming off the bench in the Prem. You get another striker in January or in the summer, if it's Liam Delap or it's, I don't know, Duran, someone a bit more head developed wise than Gu to back up Jackson. Because if Jackson was to get injured, we are seeing that Nkunku up front is not really what the manager wants, and it's also not what suits Nkunku. He could stay, he could leave in the next summer. World Cup ambitions for France, we'll find out with all the 10s we have, but he's not a striker. You can't back up Jackson with Gu over the course of a season. If Jackson gets injured, your second choice natural striker, pressing option cannot be Gu. He's not ready to be Chelsea's leading striker in a Premier League week-to-week basis. So you've got to get another striker. If you loan out Gu because he needs minutes or he wants minutes, or you keep him as a third choice because you want to develop him, I'm fine with either. I don't mind, right? But you've got to get another striker. It's very clear. We're very lucky that Jackson's durable, that he's not injury prone, because otherwise we'd be playing Nkunku out of position. We wouldn't be having the same intensity in our press, which is something that was very noticeable in the second half against Shamrock Rovers. So Jackson starts up front. I hope we're not resting on our laurels in that regard, at least in next summer, maybe even in January, what we need to look at for that position. But yeah, I don't see this as, I mean, listen, they surprised me against Brentford. They scored a header, Cucurella, right? Back post. Everton, if we just play our stuff, we hopefully slice and dice through them, we keep the ball on the ground and we handle business, we do our link-ups, we should be hopefully getting our goals. We're much more fluid than Arsenal were last week. We have much more options in open play, much more creativity, much more game changes in regards to even a Felix coming off the bench or whoever it will be. So I'm expecting us to win this game. My score prediction is a 3-1 win. But, like I said, don't go in thinking that it's going to be easy. Make it easy, yeah? Make it easy, but don't think it's easy. They're gonna definitely look to give us some set pieces. We've been defending them well recently. I don't think I've really pulled my hair out over our set piece defending as much as I was prior. But this one will be a test. This is an opportunity to go top. So Sancho, for me, is the biggest 1v1 matchup. If we're going to go top of the league in this game for a few hours, Sancho versus Ashley Young is what I'm looking at. This guy up against a 39-year-old with his quick feet, his close control, his weight of pass, his decision-making, his skill, he should be absolutely tearing into Ashley Young. This should be a moment where the man is sent to the old people's home. He is retired after this game, right? Absolutely twist up, finished, cleaned up, yeah? This should be it. It should be it. This should be it for Ashley Young. He's an old man. There's no way we should, with all the wingers we have, even if we have to bring Neto on, put Sancho on the right, Madueke, one of these wingers in this match has got to finish Ashley Young's career. That is my demand and my expectation. I don't mind if we're a bit lopsided, if we overcommit to that side because it's that easy. But that's what it needs to be. It needs to be that easy. We should be ripping him. Should be creating plenty of chances over there on that side. Whether Palmer drifts to the left and starts linking up, whether it's Enzo in the half spaces, we should be ripping into them, killing them on that side. So that's my only demand. That's my only request. And we'll see what happens with the futures of these players. But there's a few loanees that could come back in to give numbers in that midfield if there's a couple players that are leaving or Lavia being injury prone. But with the centre-backs, I don't know. I think, like I said, I would err on the side of caution unless there's a real quality, high quality centre back out there. I'm thinking, a level raiser in the 11, not a Gurhi. Then maybe just leave it until the summer and just see who wants to step up to the plate. Toss in Achampong, who wants to level up for this season, because we're not in a title race. But next season, if you haven't leveled up this season, you haven't proven that you can start or that you can compete, then maybe we make our moves in the summer. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. 3-1 score prediction. Big up your damn selves. I'll see you guys next time for the watch along. In a bit, people. Peace.